Hey, boys and girls, it's Mrs. Dailey. I'm trying a new way of recording my lessons today using a different program because I know yesterday it was really hard to see the computer screen and I want to make sure that you guys can do that. So this will be our reading lesson for today. Yesterday we read the story, It's Too Dark, and we answered some questions. So today we're going to read that story one more time, and then we're going to do two comprehension activities. One is going to be answering story elements, and the other one is remembering details from the story. So what I want to do is I am going to share my screen with you so that you will be able to see what Ms. Dailey sees on her computer. And that way I think it'll be a little bit easier for you guys to see the story. So we're going to read the story again today, and then we'll do our two activities. So just a reminder at home, what do good listeners look like? Our ears are open, our mouths are closed, and our eyes are on the story, okay? So It Was Too Dark by Claire Rett. It is nighttime. Olivia is in bed. It is very dark in Olivia's room. Olivia tries to go to sleep. She wants a drink of water. She can't see her water bottle. It is too dark, Olivia says. I need a light. Remember, we read this yesterday, so today we're not going to review as much. We're just going to read through the story. Olivia turns on her flashlight. Now she can see her water. Now she can see her water bottle. It is on the nightstand by her bed. Olivia takes a drink of water. Olivia tries to go to sleep. She wants her blanket. She can't see her blanket. It is too dark, Olivia says. I need a light. Olivia turns on her flashlight. Now she can see her blanket. It is on her chair. Olivia puts her blanket on the bed. Olivia tries to go to sleep. She hears a sound by her door. She can't see what is making the sound. It is too dark. Olivia says, I need a light. Olivia turns on her flashlight. Now she can see her cat, Mimi. Mimi wants to get out the door. Olivia lets Mimi out. Olivia tries to go to sleep. She wants her favorite bear, Teddy. She can't see where Teddy is. It is too dark. Olivia says, I need a light. Olivia turns on her flashlight. Now she can see Teddy. Teddy is on the shelf. Olivia brings Teddy to bed. Olivia is almost asleep. She hears someone say her name. She can't see who is talking. It is too dark. Olivia says, I need a light. Olivia turns on her flashlight. Now she can see her mom. Her mom wants to say goodnight. Olivia hugs her mom goodnight. Olivia turns off her flashlight. She finally falls asleep. The end. All right, that was great listening, guys. I'm going to put the communication board up here for a minute, and this would be a good time in the video for mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, whoever you're watching the video with, to pause it, and you guys can use this board to point and tell your parents something that you saw in the video. So think about what you are in the story, Think about something that you saw in the story, because that's going to help you to do our next activity where we're going to look at details from the story. So see if you can point out one thing you remember Olivia seeing during the story. All right, I hope you took that time to pause and talk about what was in the story. So our next activity has two parts. The first part, we're going to add things that Olivia found with her flashlight in her room, and we'll use the story to go back and do that. And then the second thing is we're going to pick what the main idea is. And remember, the main idea of the story is what the whole story was about. So everything in the story was about one thing. So first we're gonna add the things that Olivia found in her room with the flashlight. So when I click this picture, and you guys can either do this on your computers or you can do it later, it's on your account for today. But when I click on the picture, it's going to show me a bunch of different pictures of things that Olivia might have seen with the flashlight. So what I want to do first is I want to go through and make sure that we know what all these pictures are, because sometimes there's things that we don't know that we haven't seen before, and we need to make sure we understand before we answer our question. All right, so we have up here in the corner a little cat, and remember in the story she had a cat named Mimi. So here's our little cat. Underneath this, you'll see Miss Dailey has her white arrow circling. There's a little picture frame. That's how we put pictures up in our house. Underneath that, there is a jacket. When do you wear a jacket? What kind of weather would you wear a jacket? Yeah, when it's cold outside, probably in the winter or the fall, you would wear a jacket. We're going to go over to this next column, and I see a yellow rubber duck, and then I see a teddy bear. Going over to the next column, I see a blanket and a backpack. And the next column, I see a mom. And down here, there's a small picture of a water bottle. And then on the last column, we have a dog and we have a truck. So our job is to figure out what details are from the story. So what did Olivia see with her flashlight in the story? So I can remember some things, but I want to make sure that I use the story to answer my questions. So I'm going to go back to my story, and you can do this on your account too. I'm going to start from the beginning, and I might just look at pictures to see if I can see a picture of something that might help me. So here's my first picture, and this picture, she didn't see anything. It was just telling us the setting and the character in the story. Olivia is in her bedroom. And it's nighttime. So those things are just the setting and the character for this page. So we're going to go to the next page. And I see that she's thinking about something. So if she's thinking about it, that doesn't mean she's found it with the flashlight yet. So we want to look for the picture that has the flashlight looking for something. So the next picture on page 3, you can see she has her flashlight. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see the picture a little bit better. But her flashlight is pointing to the water bottle. So let's go back to our activity and look at our pictures and see if a water bottle is one of the choices. Let's see, here it is. I found it. So I'm going to click on the water bottle. And you could hear it turned green, and it gave us our ding, and it added our water bottle to the picture just like in our story. But we're not done yet because she saw more things in the story. So I'm going to go back and see if I can find another thing that she saw with her flashlight. So in this picture, I see a blanket, but this is a thought bubble. So that means she's thinking about it. She hasn't seen it yet. So we need to go to the next page and see if she has her flashlight. All right, it looks like in this picture, she has her flashlight and it's pointing at this yellow thing. Who remembers what this yellow thing was? Yeah, good job. It was her blanket. She needed her blanket. So let's go back to our activity. We will click the button and see if you can see a blanket in the blue box. You see the blanket? There it is. It's yellow. All right, so now we have the water bottle and the blanket, and I'm going to move it to where it was in our picture just so that we have more space. All right, so we have a water bottle and we have a blanket, but that wasn't all she found. So let's go back to our story and look some more, because I like to use my story to help me make sure I have the right answer instead of just guessing. So we're going to go to the next page. We have a thought bubble again. And remember, thought bubbles mean that we are thinking something, not that we've done something. So let's go to the next page. And there's our flashlight. So we can see she's using her flashlight and she's shining it on an animal. What kind of animal is she shining it on? Yeah, she's shining it on the cat. So let's go back to our story. I'm sorry, our activity. And there are there's 3 different animals in this. There's a duck, a cat, and a dog, but we want to make sure we pick the animal from our story. So which animal did we hear in our story? That's right, we heard her cat, Mimi. All right, great job so far, guys. So we have 3 things. We have a water bottle, we have a blanket, and we have her cat. But I really think there were more things in the story, and we haven't gotten through the whole story again. So let's go back to the story and see what she finds next. So we have a thought bubble, which means she's doing what, boys and girls? Yeah, she's thinking. So she's not seeing anything yet. So we're going to go to the next page. And there is her flashlight. So we know she's using her flashlight. And what is she looking at with her flashlight? Yeah, she sees her teddy bear. So let's go to our activity and see if you can find the teddy bear. Now remember, you can be doing this in the video, or you can pull up your account and be doing this with me on your account. Either way is fine. Can you find the teddy bear in the video? Great job. There's the teddy bear. And I'm going to move him on the shelf, just like in the story. All right, so far we have how many things? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 things so far. I don't think we're quite done yet. So let's check our story. We have another thought bubble. That means she is thinking. So that's not doing anything yet. So we're going to go to the next page. And there we go. Her flashlight is on, which means she's using it. And she sees her mom. So let's look at our choices and see if her mom is one of the choices. See, do you see mom? There she is. Great job. All right. So let's check one more time how many things we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 5 things in the story. I want to check and make sure I go all the way to the end of the story to make sure I didn't miss anything. So here's our next page. Her flashlight is not on, so there's nothing she's looking for. And then I have the end. So you guys did a great job with that activity. Oh, sorry, Miss Dailey is getting used to using her tools for this videoing. All right, so we got all of our clues, all of our things that she found with her flashlight. So now we need to decide what is the main idea. And remember, main idea is what the whole story is about. So take a minute and turn to your brother, sister, mom, dad, whoever you're watching the video with, and see if you can tell them what you think the whole story was about. You don't have to look at your choices here. You can use your own thoughts, or you can look at them if you need to. But I want you to think about, what was this whole story about? What was the main idea? All right, so now that you've taken a minute to do that, let's look at our choices and see if we can talk through them together and figure out what the main idea was. So our choices say, Olivia listens for sounds in her room. Well, I know that Olivia heard a sound. She heard her cat and she heard her mom say her name. So I know that happened in the story. So that might be an answer, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to read the other choices just in case. So the next one says, Olivia uses a flashlight to see objects in her room. Well, I know in my activity up here that I went through the story and found all the things that Olivia found with her flashlight. And I know that I had to go from the beginning all the way to the end of the story because it was happening a lot in the story. So that could be what the whole story was about. But I'm going to read my last choice just in case. So the last choice says, Olivia likes cats. Well, we know she has a cat, but we don't know that she likes cats because it didn't really talk about how she felt about the cat. So I don't think that's a good choice. So let's go back to the other 2. My other 2 were that she listened for sounds and that she used a flashlight to see objects. Well, I know she heard 2 sounds. She heard her mom and she heard her cat. But I know that she found 5 different things because we counted them when we put them up here into our details. So I think that there were more things in the story about using the flashlight, so I think that's a better choice. What do you guys think? If you agree, I want you to put a thumbs up. If you disagree, I want you to put a thumbs down. So what do you think? Do you think it's about using the flashlight? Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think that's a good choice. So let's put that in and see what our computer says. Oh, it turned green and it dinged. That means we got it right. All right, you guys are doing a great job with this activity. We're going to do our last activity with this story. and then tomorrow we'll start our article. So in our next activity, we are going to be finding story elements. Now, some of these we talked about in our last activity, so these might be easy for you. But some of them we might have to think about and go back and look in our story one more time, and that's okay. That's why we keep our story up in case we need to reference it again. So here is our flashlight, and in order to turn our flashlight on, we need to answer all of our questions. So the first question says, who is the story about? So who is our character in the story? We have two choices. Let me zoom it in so you can see a little bit better. Oops. Sorry, guys. You know Miss Dailey has some trouble with technology sometimes. And luckily, you guys are always so patient with me. All right. So we have two choices in our story, Olivia or Ian. So if I didn't remember, I could go back to my story and I could go back to the very beginning. And my characters and my setting were on the first page. So let me make it a little bit smaller so you can see, and we can check our words. So all right, so I didn't hear the word Ian at all, so I think Olivia is probably a good choice. If you guys think our character is Olivia, I want to see a thumbs up. And if you think it's Ian, I want to see a thumbs down. So show me, what are you guys thinking? Yeah, I think Olivia is a good choice. That's the word I heard. Beautiful job. All right, so our next question is about the setting. The setting is where the story happens. So this question says, where does this story take place? So where is she? What is happening? So here are our choices. Our choices are in Ian's kitchen or in Olivia's room. Well, this one is trying to trick you, which is really silly because we already answered this question and we said it was Olivia. So if this whole story is about Olivia, it would be really silly if it took place in Ian's kitchen because we're not talking about Ian. So I don't think that's a good choice. I'm thinking it's Olivia's room. But if I wasn't sure and I wanted to double check, I could go back to my story and I could read my page again. And remember, it says it is nighttime. Olivia is in bed and it is very dark in her room. So I know that she's in her room. That's the setting of the story. Oops. All right, we got our green ding. So our next question says, what is the problem? What's the problem in the story? What is she using her flashlight for? And what was in our title? What was the problem? Well, I'm going to look at my title one more time. It says, it was too dark. So she was using the flashlight to find all these things in the dark. That's what we said our whole story was about. So let's go back and look at our choices for the problem. Is it too dark or is it too rainy? Well, in the story, we know she used the flashlight, and you use the flashlight when it's dark, not when it's rainy. So I think that too dark is a better choice. Oops. All right, and here's our last question. What was her solution? How did she solve her problem? Did she use an umbrella or did she turn on a flashlight? So it's doing the same thing again. It's trying to be silly and trick you because you would use an umbrella if it's rainy. So if we said the story was about being too rainy, it would make sense to use an umbrella. But for this question, we said it was too dark and an umbrella isn't going to make it light again. So I think using on flashlight is a better choice. So let's see what happens. We got it right, and look what you guys did. You turned the flashlight on. What a great job. All right, boys and girls, I really enjoyed having reading lesson with you today. I hope you worked through together. When you're done watching the video or before, if you've already done it, make sure you go on your Unique account and practice this on your own. You can read the story and fill out the questions. Tomorrow, Miss Dailey will post a video doing the nonfiction article, reading it, and answering some questions. Until then, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for visiting.